Hi, I'm Craig Stanley, mining analyst with Raymond James. I'm joined with Lon Shaver, Vice President of Silvercorp Metals. Lon, it's good to reconnect and get caught up on the Silvercorp story.
Yeah, hi Craig. Good to see you again, and good to sit down and bring you up to date on Silvercorp.
Thanks. Last fall, I had the opportunity to attend site visits to both your mines in China. It was an amazing trip. What's been happening since then?
Well, I think the most notable news is, as you know from being there and seeing the news that we put out late last year, late 2019. We had an ongoing drilling program, and what we did was, with the drilling done up to the end of December of last year, we just recently announced a revised technical report for the Ying mines, and what it really did was update the resources and reserves for the 6 mines, and effectively brought us back to a position where, as compared to the last report of 3.5 years ago, we've effectively replaced reserves. And so even over that time, we've replenished what we've mined. And given the fact that we're using a higher cutoff now for calculating those reserves, we actually have a higher grade in the reserve category, and an inventory of just under 100 million ounces of silver in the proven and probable. And that means we've got, again, at Ying, a 20-year mine life.
20-year mine life, your flagship operation.
Yes.
Okay. What's happening on the ground right now?
Since that point in time earlier this summer, as part of some of the development work, we noticed something in a visit underground, that there was some interesting mineralization that looked different from what we've been mining. And so we've gone back and embarked on a bit of a research project, and then also a targeted drilling program to look at some what we think are new mineralized horizons within the mines, that it could actually be a host to gold mineralization. And if you go back over the years, there's been drill results in the past that have produced some really good gold grades, and those really have never been properly explained.
Okay. Now, I mean, having visited the mines, I appreciate the high-grade nature of the mineralization. They're usually very discrete veins. What are you doing, though, for an exploration? Is it both a combination of both surface and underground?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we've done a lot of drilling from underground, given the access, and as you know, we've got lots of tunnels and ramps we've been developing. But for this program, we've stepped back and really prioritized drilling. And we've got over 30 rigs across the 6 mines, and it's a combination of surface and underground rigs to test some of the, like I said, some of these horizons that we think exist across the mines, but also to go back and actually look at some of the prior results that we had, where there might have been some good grades and not a complete follow-up to determine sort of where those resources were to bring them into a mine plan.
Okay. And now, Ying is in this belt that's actually located between 2 large cratons. It's an orogenic belt that's actually well known for gold. However, at Ying, you've historically mined the silver with lead and zinc. What was it that you were seeing for gold?
Well, it was in a drift, and in a tunnel there was a more shallow dipping structure that looked to be mineralized with sulfides, and some samples that were taken in the drift produced some higher grade gold and some copper in some instances. And then that led to the thinking, hey, this could be actually a different model of mineralization, in the same mine or in the same spot, that is completely different. Because yes, as you know, our core material there is pretty steeply dipping silver, lead, zinc veins, and this looked like in the tunnels something completely different. So that's what has us going back and looking, and yeah, in context. The region is known for gold production, and there are some gold operations nearby, and so we're looking to see, well, maybe this is the same type of structures that are being mined on other properties in the district.
Okay. So you have 30 rigs going. Are the assay labs keeping up with you guys?
Not really. With all those rigs, lots of holes being generated, and the one shift too in philosophy as compared to before is realizing that we're looking for potentially a different model we're not just sampling the obvious intercepts or intersections of the traditional mineralization. We want to get a more complete picture. So we're taking lots more samples to be able to go and get a better, clear indication of what's happening throughout the hole, and then be able to correlate that across holes. So yeah, we've got the labs inundated, and we've had to up our the use of labs in terms of in and out inside the country for getting this work done.
Okay. Okay. Well, listen, when do we get some results here? I know earlier this year you did put out some preliminary results. You also went back to your historic core, sampled some of that, and had those results. But when should we get fresh assays?
Well, some results are coming in, but what we're doing is we're looking to get sort of batches them together where the information makes sense, and we can tell a more cohesive story about what we think is going on in a particular area or at a particular elevation in the mine. But we should start to see more results coming out this fall.
Okay.
On both the gold mineralization, but also some of these more traditional silver targets that we're back drilling as well.
Okay, so a combination of gold and silver results.
Yes.
We should expect.
Yes.
Perfect. Having again visited those mines, I was very impressed with the state of the operations, the management teams. You had mentioned though you were working on a sustainability report. Can you give us any details?
Yeah, there's been obviously lots going on at the operations over the years to continually look at improving safety, looking at ways we can minimize the impact on the environment, community programs. A lot of this has been going on, but what we haven't done necessarily the best job at is communicating that to the investment community and sort of to all our stakeholders more broadly. So we're working on an inaugural sustainability report right now. It should be out this fall as well. And what we'll have is a description of some of these programs that we've got in place. Also looking at baseline data that we've been compiling on key metrics that we're going to continue to report through social media, sustainability reports, and on our website going forward. So this will be something that I think will improve our communication on those factors.
Okay, and I would point out to our audience here, having seen these operations firsthand, I mean, these are modern mines with modern tailings facilities. These are, I would put up against anything in North America.
Yeah, and we're constantly trying to make changes, improvements, and find ways to minimize that impact.
Okay. One of the big things that's happened to Silvercorp this year was, you guys have such a great cash balance, and you've been public that you are looking at acquisitions. You guys did move forward with an acquisition, but you did have a disciplined approach, and as a result, a higher bidder came in. Can you just give us a quick heads up, just sort of what happened around that and what you see going forward?
Yeah, that offer for Guyana Goldfields really was, the expression of the culmination of a process that we've been doing and we're continuing to do at the company, which is to go look at precious metals projects around the world and look to identify ones that we think fit our criteria, that are things that we can get in at a reasonable price, build at a reasonable price, and generate good margin from an opportunity. So we saw that. We made 2 proposals, but when we outbid, we realized that it was getting away from us, and the disciplined approach was to pass and move on. And so we're back looking at targets again that we think have merit and could be opportunities for us.
Are they getting more pricey? I mean, we have had metal prices running here.
Yeah. Some of them have gone up in terms of the public market ones, and where they've generated some attention. And so we've got to be careful of that, because we're not looking to do a deal just for a deal's sake. And you can see from our results and our discipline focus on our share count, we haven't been doing deals just to get bigger. We're looking really to add profitability. So when we run our numbers, we're running it off of, obviously, what's the acquisition going to cost, what's the likely cash flow, and not basing it simply on the higher metal prices that we are now, but more normalized prices as well.
Okay. A couple of years ago, Silvercorp invested in New Pacific, a silver explorer in Bolivia. That's been an amazing win for your Silvercorp shareholders. This year, you guys have put a bit of money into a couple of small juniors, one called Avalon in Guyana, the other volcanic in Guatemala. What do you guys see about that going forward?
Well, they're two different stories for sure in terms of volcanic is an earlier stage project, but great high grade results. And as you know, we like high grades. And so this is an opportunity to sponsor a exploration story that we think has great potential to generate good results of high grade silver and gold. And the Avalon, which will be called Oh My Gold Mines shortly when it gets listed, is a project in Guyana that had a former producing open pit mine. And what we see is the potential for more high grade underground resources being delineated. So again, we're backstopping a group that's going to go out and do the work there in terms of drilling and exploration to prove up that thesis.
Okay. You've mentioned you expect assays here in the near future from Ying, as well as the inaugural sustainability report. Anything else we should be keeping our eyes open for?
Well, I think, tied into those assays is thinking about the fact that the Ying operation, like we know, has that 20-year mine life. But some of the things that we can find as a result of this exploration program could change the economics of the operation. And that can obviously be finding more higher grade zones that we can prioritize in the mine. We think we have the opportunity to identify new production centers, which could move us from 6 to 7 mines. There's now a potential gold contribution if we are able to prove up tons of meaningful gold grade material. And then lastly, if we identify more material that is in areas with development and access, we could obviously move and bring tons on stream at lower cost, which would also have a great contribution. So we're excited to keep doing the work that we're doing here and seeing what we can find, and look forward to reporting this to shareholders.
Perfect. Well, listen, the share price has been performing extremely well. Operations have been extremely well. Thanks for taking the time, Lon. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Craig. Appreciate the interest and chance to get caught up.